Have you ever looked at someone wildly successful and thought, how did they get there? What if I told you that success isn't just a matter of luck or talent, but the result of a series of clear, intentional attitudes anyone can adopt? In this video, I'll walk you through 7 powerful principles that form the backbone of personal and professional success. These aren't vague motivational quotes. They're actionable mindsets used by top performers around the world. We begin with mobile planning, your ability to adapt while keeping your goals in motion. Then we move into the engine behind every growth story, constant learning. We'll talk about discipline and organization, the habits that separate dreamers from doers. Then there's focus on results, not just effort, but actual impact. And you'll discover why networking and collaboration no longer optional, but essential. We'll also explore physical and mental health, the foundation that supports everything else. But stay with me, because the final attitude might just be the one that defines whether you keep going when everything else seems to fall apart. It's the invisible force behind every comeback story. Resilience. The ability to bend without breaking, to rise every time you fall. And that is where greatness is forged. So don't just watch, absorb, reflect, and act, because these 7 attitudes aren't just steps to success. They're the path to becoming unstoppable. 1. Mobile planning. Let's face it, the world isn't what it used to be. Things shift fast. Markets change, technologies evolve, life throws curveballs, and that's why the first step to real success in just having a plan. It's single quotes as having a plan that can move. This is what we call mobile planning, the ability to design your goals, structure your steps, but stay flexible enough to adapt when the road takes an unexpected turn. Think of it like this: a plane flying from New York to Los Angeles is off course over 90% of the time. Winds, turbulence, weather, all kinds of variables. But the pilots constantly make small adjustments, tiny shifts, to get the plane back on track. And guess what? The flight still lands exactly where it was meant to. That's the power of mobile planning. You might start your journey with a perfect vision, but if you're too rigid, life will break you. The successful ones, they adapt. Take Sara Blakely, the founder of Spanx. Her original business plan was completely different from how things turned out. She faced rejection after rejection. Manufacturers didn't take her seriously, and nobody wanted to invest. But instead of giving up or clinging to a broken plan, she shifted. She stayed in motion. She adapted her pitch, redesigned her prototype, and even hustled her way into getting her product on Oprah, which changed everything. Her direction stayed clear, but her strategy stayed flexible. That's what mobile planning gives you. Direction without delusion. You're not abandoning the goal. You're adjusting the path, and it applies to everything. Maybe you wanted to launch a business, but the market isn't ready. So, you tweak the offer. Maybe your job gets cut, but the skills you've built open new doors. Maybe the door you thought would open stays shut. So, you build your own door. Life rewards the strategically flexible, not the stubbornly fixed. So, if you want to succeed in this ever-changing world, don't just plan. Plan like water. Shape your strategy, but be ready to flow, shift, and move without losing sight of where you're going. To constant learning. If there's one thing that never goes out of style, it's knowledge. In a world where new apps launch daily, industries are reinvented overnight, and AI is rewriting the rules of the game. Staying still the same as moving backwards. And that's why the second attitude for lasting success is this: never stop learning. You see, school may end, but education should never stop, because in today's world, what you know today could be outdated tomorrow. And the people who thrive are the ones who evolve faster than the game changes. Take Elon Musk, for example. Before launching SpaceX, he knew nothing about rocket science. What did he do? He read books, dozens. He studied orbital mechanics and aerospace engineering on his own. and surrounded himself with experts. Now he's literally building the future of space travel. That's constant learning in action. Or think of Oprah Winfrey. From her earliest days, she was obsessed with learning, not just through formal education, but through people, stories, books, and conversations. And she turned that obsession into a media empire because she never stopped growing, never stopped asking questions, never assumed she already knew enough. So here's the truth. Success doesn't come to those who know it all. It comes to those who stay curious. To those who ask, explore, read, try, fail, and try again. And today, there's no excuse. You have more knowledge in your pocket than the richest people had access to 50 years ago. Podcasts, books, YouTube, online courses, mentors, communities. You're one decision away from leveling up. But here's the catch. It's not just about consuming information. It's about applying it. Test what you learn. Experiment. Build. Adjust. Turn learning into action. And wisdom will follow. Because those who keep learning. Keep leading. 3RD. Discipline and organization. Let's be honest. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes like the weather. Some days you wake up inspired. Other days, you just want to disappear under the covers. But here's the truth. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. That's why success doesn't belong to the most excited. It belongs to the most disciplined. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. And when you combine that with organization, you create a system that multiplies your time, your energy, and your results. Let's take a look at Jocko Willink, a retired Navy SEAL and best-selling author. He wakes up every day at 4:30 a.m., not because it's fun, not because it's trendy, but because he knows that self-discipline builds freedom. Every task he tackles, every rep he trains, every word he writes, it's the result of a system, not a mood. Discipline makes action consistent. Organization makes it efficient. Without organization, discipline becomes chaos. Imagine showing up every day to work hard, but not knowing where to start. Your to-do list is a mess. Your mind is scattered, and your time is leaking away. But with simple systems, calendars, priorities, routines, you eliminate friction and stay on track. Look at Marie Kondo. Her rise didn't come from having the most exciting idea. It came from her obsession with structure, clarity, and intentional living. By organizing spaces, she helped people organize their minds and built a global brand in the process. The lesson is simple. Motivation may open the door, but only discipline walks through it. And once you're inside, organization builds the house. So don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait to feel inspired. Get structured. Get consistent. Get it done. Because in the long run, your systems will outperform your feelings every single time. Fourth, networking and collaboration. Here's something most people learn the hard way. No one makes it alone. Not in business, not in life, not in anything meaningful. We often imagine success as a solo mission, the lone genius grinding in silence, rising above the noise. But behind every powerful story, there's a network, a team, a circle of influence. Because success is accelerated by relationships. People open doors. People give feedback. People share opportunities you didn't even know existed. Take Steve Jobs, for example. He wasn't just a tech visionary. He was surrounded by brilliant minds. Without Steve Wozniak, Apple would have never been built. Without Jony Ive, the iPhone wouldn't have looked or felt the same. Jobs had vision, but collaboration turned it into reality. Or look at Sheryl Sandberg. Her partnership with Mark Zuckerberg didn't just shape Facebook's business model. It helped her become one of the most influential voices in modern leadership. It wasn't about doing everything alone. It was about bringing the right people into the room. Networking isn't about collecting contacts. It's about building genuine relationships, helping others, adding value, listening, sharing. And when collaboration happens from a place of trust, the impact multiplies. Think about the greatest inventions, The biggest movements, the boldest companies, none of them were solo acts. They were the result of minds working together, of skill sets combining, of people elevating one another. So here's the shift. Don't just work hard, connect smart. Find mentors, build alliances, support others, ask for help when needed, because when you link your efforts with others, you don't just grow, you accelerate. In the end, your network is your net worth. And collaboration turns individual sparks into wildfires. 5th. Physical and mental health. Let's make something clear. Without energy, no strategy works. You can have the best plan, the strongest discipline, the sharpest mind, but if your body is exhausted and your mind is overwhelmed, you will eventually crash. Success isn't just about pushing harder, it's about sustaining the pace. And that means taking care of the machine that carries you through life. Your body, your brain, your soul. Look at top performers across industries, athletes, CEOs, creators, visionaries. You'll see a pattern. They prioritize health. Take LeBron James, for example. He spends over $1.5 million a year on his body. Recovery, training, nutrition, sleep. Why? Because he knows that his performance starts with his physical condition. He treats his body like $1 billion asset, because it is. And then there's Ariana Huffington, who collapsed from exhaustion at the peak of her career. That moment changed everything. She realized that chasing success while sacrificing health was not sustainable. She went on to found Thrive Global, a company focused on well-being, productivity, and mental clarity, because she learned the hard way. Burnout kills brilliance. Mental health matters just as much. You can't create, lead, or grow if your mind is under constant pressure. Anxiety, burnout, and depression are not signs of weakness. They're signs that something needs attention. And the solution isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it's as simple as sleeping better, moving your body, eating real food, setting boundaries, or saying no. Sometimes it's talking to someone, taking a walk, journaling, breathing, unplugging, because when your body and mind are aligned, everything else becomes easier. So remember this, you are your greatest asset. Take care of your health like your future depends on it, because it does. 6th, focus on results. In a world full of distractions, one thing will keep you grounded: clarity of outcome. When you know exactly what you're aiming for, you stop wasting time on what doesn't matter. You stop chasing every shiny object. You stop confusing movement with progress. You start choosing what moves the needle. But let's get something straight. Focusing on results doesn't mean obsessing over the finish line. It means keeping the destination in mind, while honoring the process that gets you there. Think of an archer. They don't stare at the bullseye while drawing the bow. They focus on their stance, their breath, their rhythm, because they know that results are born in execution. Take Kobe Bryant. He didn't just dream of championships. He lived in the gym at 4 a.m., practicing the same shots thousands of times. He focused on the result? Yes, but he mastered the process, and that's why the results came. Or think of Jeff Bezos. His goal was clear: customer obsession, long-term growth, not quick profit. But instead of just chasing numbers, he built systems, warehouses, logistics, user experience that created results through execution. He didn't just measure the outcome, he designed the journey. Because here's the truth: results don't come from wishing, they come from consistent, intentional action. So how do you live this out? You get crystal clear on what matters. You define your metrics. You prioritize your time. And then, day after day, you show up and do the work. Even when it's boring. Even when no one's watching. That's how progress happens. Small, focused steps, repeated, create big, visible wins. So yes, keep your eyes on the result, but let your heart be in the craft, because the outcome you want is hidden inside the process you're willing to respect. 7th, resilience. Let's be real. Life will hit you. Plans will fail. People will doubt you. There will be moments when everything feels like it's falling apart. And in those moments, only one thing will determine your future: resilience. Resilience is not just about strength. It's about refusing to stay down. It's the quiet power of those who get knocked down 7 times and rise 8. It's the courage to adjust the route when the road gets blocked. It's the mindset that says, "This didn't break me, it built me." Think about Nelson Mandela. He spent 27 years in prison, labeled a threat, silenced by a system. But when he walked out, he didn't seek revenge. He rebuilt a nation. That's resilience. Or take J.K. Rowling, rejected by 12 publishers, unemployed, a single mother living on welfare. She could have quit, but instead, she kept writing and gave the world Harry Potter. She didn't succeed despite the setbacks. She succeeded through them, because here's the truth: obstacles aren't interruptions. They're part of the path. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a stepping stone toward it. You will face doubt. You will make mistakes. You will hit walls. But resilience says, "Okay, what's next?" It's not about being fearless. It's about being brave enough to keep going, even when you're afraid. It's about learning, adapting, healing, and pushing forward. And this is what separates the people who dream from the people who arrive. Not perfection. Not privilege, but grit, endurance, faith. So if you remember one thing from this video, let it be this: success is not for those who never fall. It's for those who never stay down. In the end, success isn't magic. It's not a secret. It's a path, walked step by those who choose these 7 attitudes every single day. You need the mobility to adapt, the curiosity to keep learning, the discipline to stay consistent, the focus to avoid distractions, the relationships that open doors, the health to sustain your momentum, and above all, the resilience to rise when the world tries to keep you down. These aren't just ideas, they are the foundation of a powerful life, a life built with intention, a life built with purpose, a life that moves forward, even when the wind is against you. Because in the end, it's not the smartest who win. It's not the fastest or the luckiest. It's the ones who refuse to stop. So if this message stirred something inside you, don't let it fade. Act on it. Live it. Be it. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss what truly matters. Like the video to show the algorithm this kind of content deserves to be seen. Share it with someone you care about, someone who needs this reminder. Today. Together, let's build a world of people who don't just wish for success, they create it.